Hello, welcome to the live stream. Here we are. So I'm glad if you're here and you're joining me. I'm gonna want to make sure that my microphone is loud enough and everything's working right. So if something sounds weird, make sure to let me know. But today, my plan is to fix this controller. So I'll give you a little quick peek at what's happening here. So you can see already that this left joystick um, right here, that's the issue. So this left one is kind of just has issues with the up and down. So left and right it's fine, but up and down. And so I ordered some new Hall effect modules, which are basically some it's different than the usual things that come with these. Basically, what they are is instead of using resistors to measure the direction of the joystick, it uses magnets. So we're gonna try that out. Hopefully, it'll be good, and hopefully, I won't break anything. Um, but I guess I'll get started taking it apart. So have that off. I took this apart not that long ago, so I already should have some of this, but I have this little um, X nut, which got my screwdriver here. I think this is not the one I need. Actually, need two. I have keep bumping the microphone. So I have a special kind of screwdriver tip. So the issue with these, as you can see in there, there's a special little screwdriver head in there. And that's actually just a Torx screwdriver, which is pretty common. However, it has the security bit in the center, which means you have to buy a separate thing for it. So I have a little trick where you can just use a flathead screwdriver to bypass that. So I have this little thing right here, which should have a tip. I don't think that's the right one. Let me find the correct tip I need. I think it's this really small one right there. So I'm gonna get that in and start unscrewing. Yes, I'll make the, there you go. Forgot I had it still in the other window. But, so here I'll start unscrewing it. It's a little finicky to get the tip in there. But once you do, you can just get past it. And so even with these little security things, you can still use a Torx head screwdriver, so that's kind of funny. But so I've got that screw out, and I'll just put it in one of these little things. So I needed that screw out, and now I need to get these little covers off the back, which I kind of struggle with. I kind of have to brute force it off. I might have to get some things to help me, because I'm not that good at that. So I'm gonna go grab myself some handy dandy little things right here to help me pry that off. Which I don't like doing this just because it's a little aggressive, but it works. Not sure how well, but basically I just need to take off these back covers. I'm gonna stick that in there and try to pry it in the edge there, and then get another one on the other edge, which I've already kind of damaged trying to do this before. Let me try this one. Oops, that one came out. Okay. That one in there, all nice. I'll have to use this one to try to pry it all off again. This side off at least. There we go. It's coming. There we go. Okay, that one's off. I've taken that off once before, so it's a little easier. But still kind of difficult. Now I gotta get this other edge off, which will be just as fun as the first one. I'll try to do the same thing, just jam this in there. Do the same on the other side. For me, this is probably the hardest part, just because I don't like yanking stuff. Feels a little scary. But sometimes you just have to do that. And I like to make it difficult, so you'll probably end up buying a new controller or something. And this edge, it's not popping out. There we go. Okay, so that one's now off. Now we've got a bunch more of those little security Torx head, but I've got my special little flathead, which fits perfectly. So we'll be able to take that off. So that screw off. I believe these screws are the same. Yeah, just the little Torx head screws with that little tip. Not sure if you can see that very well. But I've got that one I just took out. I've got another one here, here, and here. And some of those are actually a little harder to get out because there's a big wall next to it. So that'll be fun. Okay, got this screw out. Now I need, so the thing with these ones is you can see right here that it's kind of in this like little cavity right here. So the screwdriver, won't reach all the way in there. Not sure if I can show that well. Won't reach all the way in there. So what I kind of do is I just pull out the tip a little bit. So just gotta grab it, just kind of pulling it out a little bit further than it's supposed to be, and that way I can reach a little farther. Sometimes it gets pushed in, but that's my little trick to help reach down into those little gaps. So gotta get my screwdriver back in there. Oh, got pushed back in. So again, nope. There we go. No. Aw, so close. I think this might be one of the hardest screws just because I don't have the proper thing, so I have to use my little weird unscrewing technique while also sticking out the bit of the screwdriver a little farther than it's supposed to be. Okay. Now we're kind of getting it out. There we go. That one was a little tough, but now it's out. And then this other little difficult one on the edge here, which I have to pull out my bit again because it fell in a bit. So let's pull this. Oop. It's not a very good strategy, but it's kind of the only thing I got. So I can get that in there. There we go. Now we're going. Okay, so I'm gonna hope that those screws were the hardest part. Though I doubt they will be. I'm sure there's gonna be some more fun stuff to come. But so now that we have all those screws out, we should be able to just take this front plate off. So, if you've never seen inside of one of these controllers before, this is kind of what it looks like. And so, I believe that we can also take off this little back plate, which usually just holds like the batteries and stuff, but we do not need that. I'm gonna set these over somewhere else. So here's our little controller with all the beautiful circuit board on the back. And in case you haven't noticed, should be streaming this in 4K, so it should be able to see some really nice details on there. But the next thing to do, I believe, is to take off these little bumpers on the top, and should be able to do that with some of these little releases. There's like a little release in here that I should be able to pull up. Another release over there. So that little centerpiece now is off. And then we've got the bumpers, which have also got their own little release in the side there. So I should be able to just use one of these things to get in there, and I'll pry that off. There we go. So now that bumper is released off. And now we've got to get the release for this one on this other side. So we'll just take that off. There we go. Now we've taken off our little bumpers. Put these somewhere. Okay, so now we get to start taking off some of this. So I'm gonna start with these little bumper triggers. So I believe there's actually a little screw right here, which is a normal Torx screw now. So now that like you get the case off and stuff, they switch back to some normal bits, which is a lot nicer for someone like me. Oops. I'm not sure what I just dropped, but oh, I found it. Okay, dropped one of the bits. But so, now that there's no more security things, I can just use a normal Torx screwdriver head in there. So I believe this is that's too big. Oh, that might be too big. I think I have another thing. Done this before, so I should have the right parts. Right here, I think. No, it's actually too small. I know I have one. But where is the question? And I'm not sure. Let me try one of these bits again. Maybe it would actually work. I think that's just too big. Just slightly. Well, I can still use my little... I think I can still use my other screwdriver tip. This one, I believe. I think. Unless I actually dropped the one I was using. No, I think I dropped it. That's unfortunate. I am not sure where that one is. Okay. So I am wondering here. That cleared up. Okay. So I am wondering what I used last time. Because I thought I had another screwdriver tip. Should I take that off? I should have something in here. A little fix. Is that? No, that's just a normal Phillips. Let me. It's weird. I thought I had one of those. That worked. I know I must have. Let me try this tip again. Maybe third time's the charm. Does the smaller window on screen? No, not necessarily. I can take that off. Right now, I can actually just hide that. Should be able to close that off so you can get a nicer view. So let me see if this screwdriver works. Not. I'm gonna just make sure I didn't leave it somewhere else. I thought maybe it was one of the bits I dropped. Maybe that's why, because I thought I had something else. And I mean, I'm assuming you saw the title, which I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm pretty sure I had something, but I guess for now I'm just gonna ignore that for a quick second and take out these little rumble motors, which are used to vibrate the controller. I'm just gonna pop these out, their little socket there. Okay, got our little rumble controllers off. And there's these little wires. So I need to take these off. And these little, I guess they're the rumble controllers for the little thumb triggers, but I don't seem to have the correct thing, which is strange. I thought I did, because I did this. I took it apart not that long ago. So I think you're just gonna have to give me a moment. I'll go see if I can find the correct thing I need. But until then, just hold on real tight. Okay, I'm back. I found it. It was actually this. They were actually hiding in the little top right here. So, found them. No need to panic. I was panicking a little bit, but now that I've got them, we should be good. So I believe this is the right size. That one's a little too small. Let me use the bigger one. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now that's out, and we have this tiny little thing right there, which is kind of like a normal one. So now that should release our little thumbstick trigger. So now it should just come off like that. So, and we can also take out our rumble motor right here. So we can come out of this little assembly, and there's wires that go through the front that we just have to take out. Actually, I'm going to take off this little D-pad thing because it's going to get in my way. Take that off now. So there's a little clip which you can just take off, and that comes off. And then we have the little D-pad which can come off. So I'm going to continue taking this thing off. A bunch of little hooks to keep it in place. And just let that hang. We're going to do the same for this other one. So take off our little torque screwdriver. Put that in there. Now we're going to take off our little cap again, just like the other one. And then take our little rumble motor for the trigger and just take it out of here. Okay, so a little messy with all the wires. Some people desolder them, but I'm not going to do that because that would just be more of a pain. So now I believe, if I remember correctly, there's just two little sticks right there, or two little screws that I have to take out. So I'm going to take off those two screws. I don't think this is magnetic. I don't think this is a magnetic tip. Oh, actually no, it is magnetic. Okay, I believe all these tips the same. All the screws the same. Yes. They look the same, so I shouldn't have to distinguish between them. Which makes it easier, because if you have like 15 different screwdriver tips, then that would be a little inconvenient. So, got that out, so now this part should... Actually, I need to take off these little metal things, antennas, connectors. I'm not sure exactly what, but I know I have to take them off. I'm just gonna take them off with my fingers. Not sure if that's the best way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it. So now I believe this part should come right off. Move these. And there we go. Oh, also have these little joystick things forgot to take off. So that's our board. And this is everything else, which I don't really care about. That's also a little headphone jack. But I don't really care about this, so I'm going to go get rid of this for now. And then also these little caps for the modules, but now we're just left with the important part. The main little board with our two little joystick modules. So just to remember, this one, the top left one, is the one that's not working. Actually, wrong direction, because the little charger port goes on the top. So this top left one is the broken one, and then this one should be fine, but I'm going to replace both of them because I got a little kit of the Hall Effect modules, so I have 2 of them. So while I'm taking it apart, might as well do both of them. So what I'm going to actually do is plug this in, because I believe that, actually, no, I was wrong. This is the charge port on the top of this other one. So that means that this is some other port that I don't care about. I think some specific, like Xbox port. I'm not sure though. But this, I had the right direction before. So this should be the top left one. So, I'm not sure if you saw, but I've got some soldering stuff here. I've got a little fume extractor to keep the fumes away, because you don't want any of the fumes. So I think we're about ready to start desoldering. So I'm just gonna move some of my stuff, clean up my workspace a little bit, just so I'm not cluttered with a bunch of screwdriver stuff while I'm soldering, because that would be annoying and get in the way, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna give myself a little more space. Okay, and move that up there. So, this is my little helping hand. You can see I got my little soldering iron right here, and I've got a little sponge, which I'm gonna actually go get damp in a moment to help so I can clean off the solder tip. And then I've got my little helping hands with a little magnifying glass. But what I'm gonna do is flip this over, and I think I'm gonna start with this top left one. So we're gonna be dealing with these joints right here. So let me get this clipped up with my little helping hands to hold it in place for me, so I don't have to. And then I'm gonna actually, it's a little off balance, so I'm just gonna anchor this back a little bit so it doesn't tip over. Okay, so there it is. I'm gonna zoom you in so you can get a nice up-close view of our little board. So these joints right there, which I think all of them, I'm just gonna check to make sure, yeah. So, just taking a look here, that point, all these solder joints, we're gonna have to desolder, all these big major ones. So, I'm gonna go dampen my sponge real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, got a nice wet sponge to put in here for my desoldering iron. Got a towel too, just to wipe off my hands with some of the water and some of the other stuff that I'll be doing. Okay, so I have this desoldering pump, which I showed you earlier. So it will make some noise, but I did apply. Oh, I just realized I was using the wrong microphone earlier. Now I switched to what should be my better microphone. I was just using the microphone for my camera before. Anyways, so I should have a noise filter, which I should be on. So I'm gonna turn this on just to see how like noisy it is. Okay, so it's pretty loud for me, but it looks like it's not too loud for you, which is good. Um, So that's good. So I'm gonna turn on my soldering iron right there, and it's heating up. Actually, it heats up really quickly. Can see that right there. Already up at like 300 degrees Celsius, and I have it set to, yes, that. I'm gonna increase that to 400. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on my fume extractor. So it's kind of loud for me, um, but you shouldn't really be hearing that at all. So now I've got this, and I'm gonna just pin the tip of my soldering iron just to help a bit. So you can see there all the fumes being sucked away. That's nice and good. Got quite a bit up there. Wipe that off. Okay. So let me reposition my little thing right there. So with my soldering pump, which I have right here, I'm just gonna push it in like that, and I can suck up the solder. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna do that for this strip right here. One. Maybe I'll turn up my thing a bit. I should start maybe part of it is I need to add some flux. Okay. Put that right there. Let me add some flux here. I'm gonna take that. And I have a little wire here, which I'm gonna use. Just gonna use it to hit some of my flux. I should have some flux right here. Take some of that and just try to load it on there. Maybe use soldering points. Like all of the ones will have to be soldered. Okay. Almost done. Just a little more. Okay. That should be good, hopefully. So let's try to heat up that joint again. Okay. That did not look like much came off. So one trick I learned is that you can add a little extra solder to the joint to make it easier to come off. So warm up that. Okay. added some of that there. Let's try that again. Up. I might have to add some more solder to make it a little easier to come off. Beat this up a little more. I'm not sure if it's warm enough. It's not really taking the solder. Okay. There we go. Got a big clump of solder on there now. So hopefully, if I do this, keep it all nice and heated. Get my baby soldering pump. I gotta do that quicker. Not doing that quick enough. I think it's cooling down after I heat it. I'm not very good at this. I mean, it is kind of like my first time trying to do some desoldering, so we'll gotta bear with me. Not sure why that's not coming off. Maybe we could heat up a little more. Okay, so I think my tip's getting very dirty. See, okay. I'm not sure how well this is working. I also have another technique you can use some desoldering with, but I would prefer to get this figured out. Try this next one. Oh, I forgot to prime my pump. Might mean okay, I'm not sure how well I'm doing. I don't feel like I'm desoldering much. I think I'm going to try some of this desoldering work that I have. I don't think I'm doing very well with the desoldering pump. this down. Get my little desoldering work right here. If I can. Okay. So now I have some desoldering wick. And so hopefully I should just be able to put that there. Press down. It'll suck up some of the solder. And I beat out my thing because it's not working very well. But I'm clean my kit. Maybe that's part of the reason. See, now my thing is stuck to my desoldering wick is now stuck to my joint. Maybe I need to buy some more flux. Maybe. So have some of that flux right there. I don't think the heat shrink's going very well. Just lather it on there. And we'll see how that goes. So let's try that. Okay, well, I'm not sure how well that's working either. So we're going to try the desoldering pump again, because why not? So heat it up, light some flux, put a nice big blob on there. And heat it all up. Getting cool before I can get it all nice and heated up, or before I can take it up with the desoldering pump. I'm just gonna okay, well, something happened there. Not sure what that was. So I'm not entirely sure. Struggling a little bit. Okay. Let me try some other ones. One big, gigantic blob. See, I just realized I haven't even been using my handy dandy magnifying glass. Okay, really see what's going on there. Oops. Let me readjust. There we go. Get up. See you're out of focus there. Okay. Right there. Getting these little strand things. Try these. Okay. That one looks promising. Let me put that down. Just re-grip. So, let's try this one. Okay, those are looking promising. I'm not talking very much because I'm so focused right now. Yeah. It's very close, I can tell. Try this one back here again. Oh my gosh. Mm, let me try some more. I believe I've got two of those. Kind of looking good. Kind of. Maybe. Who knows? But let's try some adding some to these ones. Oh, that's really cool. You can kind of like see when it turns from one to not. Ooh, kind of. Not really. Let me get my hand a little stick here. Okay, that one's looking. Okay, some of those pins are looking kind of good. Let me try using some of those desoldering work again to try to take care of some of that. Let me get a little closer to that. Okay. That again with my desoldering wick. Okay. Got that. Let's try doing it to these ones. Okay. Got that one. Okay, we're trying to do something. Okay. Feel like I'm getting somewhere. Oh, I forgot to find my pump. Okay. take a look. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was there we go. I believe none of those. I don't think any of those are good yet. That's still okay. Let's see. None of those are really moving yet. Let's take care of some of these with really big blobs. Trying to go back to some little handy dandy solder with, maybe? Possibly. Okay. That is interesting. I'm gonna... Okay. So... So... My progress is interesting. I'm not sure how well this is going. So, um, I'm wondering if I should maybe. I've watched some videos before trying to desolder. It's my first time desoldering. As you can see, it's going not super great. Um, so I think what I'm gonna try to do is take a peek at a video, see how they do it, try to replicate what they're doing. I'm gonna wipe off my tip. I'm gonna wipe it off some more. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off my soldering iron. Okay, here. So let's give me a second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little peek at a video how to desolder. So actually, let's see, WikiHow desoldering pump. Let's see. Okay, clean the terminals. Well, I did not do that. Sure. Okay. So turn on the soldering iron. Use a wet sponge. Okay. To clean it. Then push down the desoldering pump. Yeah. Heat the old solder. Vacuum up the melted solder. Dispense it. It often takes multiple passes with soldering iron pump before it's free. If you're not making progress after a few tries. Okay, this is where I am. Okay, so apply flux first. Tried some of that. Mix a little new solder with old solder. Tried doing that. For through-hole connections, use the tip of the soldering iron to gently wiggle the terminal from side to side. Interesting. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try that. Okay. Let's turn on my soldering iron. Turn back on my fan. I found the tip. So let's try all of the above. So let's first actually brush it off a little bit with some alcohol. So I have a little okay, so I have some like alcohol-based hand sanitizer stuff. So I'm gonna put this on a little pad. Going to try to apply some of the alcohol. Get some more. Maybe that a little. Okay. Okay. Add some alcohol in there. And we're gonna try to give it a nice little brush. Okay. Now, let's apply some flux into some of the joints I want to desolder again. Not at all. All my beautiful flux. Okay. Let's see actually a little more on that one joint. Let's see how that goes. Okay. So I'm going to get my desoldering tongue ready. Heat up the connection. Go wiggle. So I'm still struggling. Okay. That one looked a bit more promising. Got some stuff off of that one. Okay. That's looking a little more promising than was previous. I feel like I'm making some progress. Try this next joint. Those ones are a little harder. Oops. Okay. I feel like we're getting somewhere. Okay. We are getting somewhere. That's for sure. Okay, I think I need some more flux there because it's not heating up very well. So, let's see. I think I have a couple points which are properly desoldered. Okay. I'm gonna have to go up and replace my sponge soon. Gotta add some flux, I think. Lather it on there. Okay. Then try to get that off. Okay. I think we are not getting very far. Let me do a little hug. Yeah, those aren't free yet. So I think if I can move the tip, and I know it's solder flowing, but I can't with that one. Means I'm gonna apply a little dab of solder. Okay. And then try to do it. So messy. I'm gonna try adding some solder again, but this time she should add some flux. Okay. Trying to do a little wiggle test to see if it'll work. The wiggle test will tell me if it's out or not. Hmm. I feel like we're so close on some of them. And other ones so far. Like this one. I'm not sure. Well, this is not what I was hoping. Try to add some complexities. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream here and try to keep doing this on my own because the stream's already going on for like an hour and a half, and most of it's just watching me struggle to desolder. Which I thought would be part of it, but not necessarily the whole thing. So what I think I'm going to do is try to figure this out a little more on my own, and maybe I'll have a video once I do all of it or something, but I think I need to just try to figure it out and spend some time doing that. So I'm going to turn this off for now. My soldering thing. Thank you if you're watching or whatever. I'll try to figure this out some more, but see you until next time.